Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about how to add additional levels to your Revit drawing. So you can see here on my screen right now, you can see we have level 1, 0, 0. And if I were to pan out here and set up my crop region, pull my crop region up, you can then see that there's my level 2 hiding up here that I had cropped out. So I'm going to pull this back down and then zoom in. You can see I have TO foundation. Now TO in a level particular situation stands for top of. So this would be the top of the foundation. Now this will be necessary to learn how to add levels, because as we go into creating more and more detailed drawings, you can see that I have a foundation wall, we have anchor bolts, sill plates, insulation. Now we're going to get into detail wall sections here shortly. The masonry wall here is sitting on a footer, and it's the levels down here that are controlling the height and positioning of the BO footer, which is bottom of footer, and of course BO foundation, bottom of foundation. So it's important that we understand how to create these levels. So let's go ahead and jump into a drawing and create a level. So I have open here what is pretty close to probably where you are now in this particular assignment, where you have your level 1 at 0, 0, okay? And we've probably also already taken and pushed the floor up, because that level 1, 0, 0 should be level with the subfloor, okay? If it is not, let's say that it's actually level with the hardwood flooring, it would look something like this. What we want to do is we want to take and push that floor up utilizing the offset tool, because everything's based off of the level. So if I select the floor system here, and I come over here to height offset, we'll go ahead and pull this over, we see it a little bit better. Height offset from, that's height offset from the level. You can see the full name there. I want to take and push this up the thickness of the flooring, and that flooring, the finished flooring is oak, which is going to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to come over here in this cell and just type in 3/4 of an inch, and I'll come back to my drawing, and you can see that my floor just popped up 3/4 of an inch, so that it is now above. The hardwood is above the level 1, and the level 1 is set 0, 0 to the top of the subfloor. So what we want to do next is we want to set up a level that's going to run across here to establish the top of the foundation. So to do that, I'm going to come up here, make sure I'm on my architecture tab at the top of the screen, and then I'm going to slide over to the datum tab here, and it's going to say level. So I want to go ahead and left click on the level tool, and then I'm going to bring my mouse down to the other side of the drawing, and I'm not really worried about depth at this point. I'm going to go ahead and just left click, and now draw all the way across the drawing here, and I'm going to wait till this sort of links up. It kind of gets stuck there. Once it gets stuck there, I'm going to left click again. All right, I'm going to hit escape twice. Now I'm going to move over, zoom in, and now let's change the name. So where it says level 4, I'm going to double click on level 4. That cell now becomes active, and I'm going to type in T period, T period, O period, that's top of foundation, and just click off. Now when it says, would you like to rename corresponding views, always say yes. All right, so we can even check, don't show me this again, just say yes. And now over here in your browser, you can say I have floor plans level 1, level 2, site is for the top-down view of the site, and then TO foundation. This is now the TO foundation floor plan that we can work on, and we will later on. Now we want to set this up so that the TO foundation offset from 0 is set properly. So to take a look at that, I'm going to go to this section view where you can see a little bit better. And you can see that the offset is -1 foot, 1.5 inches. Well, where does that come from? It's coming from the 1 foot is the thickness of the floor system. So the floor system here, we'll go ahead and just measure that from the level 1 down to the bottom of the floor system. That's 1 foot, okay? So because you have 11 and 1/4 for the actual floor joist, and then you have your 3/4 for the subfloor. That's your 1 foot. Then what we need to do is we need to take a look and see, well, what's this thing down here? Well, this is going to be the 2x6 sill plate, and this is a piece of pressure treated lumber. This is going to actually make the connection from your framing to the foundation system, whether it's a superior wall. This would be set up for CMU or anything to the like, but it's always going to be a 2x piece of material, and it's going to be pressure treated, maybe 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, depends on what the system calls for. So that's going to end up getting put in there in a little bit later video, but we need to make room for it. So we're going to go ahead and set this TO foundation at -1, 1.5. So we'll go back to the section. To do that, we'll just go and double click on that number. It highlights, and I can go ahead and type this in that it's going to be -1 foot, 1.5 inches, and hit enter. And then it jumps into position. Right away, what I want to do as it's in position is I want this not to overlap this, okay? So when you click on the line for a level, you see this little teeny tiny wiggly arrow here, this little zigzag right underneath of the name, between the name and the distance. Left click on it, and that adds an elbow, okay? Now, that allows you, if you needed to do two, it allows you to make one elbow go down and one elbow go up. That can keep things nice and neat and orderly. That's going to be critical later on when we start laying sheets out. Now, in future videos here, what we're going to do is you'll see how to get your siding and your underlayment here, or your siding and your sheeting pull down in front of the foundation. You'll go ahead and add a sill plate and get the view to be far closer to what it looks like here, where you can then start adding notation. Now, we can talk about notation very quickly. We'll deal with that in the actual pull down and the sill plate here a little bit later, but when we want to add some notation, pretty simple process to do so. We're going to go up to the, let's see, annotation tab, because we're annotating, we're adding notes to this. And then since we're setting up our wall system so that all the materials are in the detail descriptor, when we actually then select this tool right here, this is called the material tag tool, okay? Selecting that tool turns in a material tab property system, and then when we mouse over anything in our wall, you can see that it's going to pull the material for us, okay? Now it looks like this wasn't set up properly, so you can see I got a 2x12 joist system. So if I click, and then come over so I have a nice straight elbow there, that works out great. But here, if I go for the underlayment, this says plywood sheeting, sheeting grade. Well, that should actually say something to the effect of like 3/4 inch OSB. So let's go ahead and we can fix that up. The other thing is, let's go ahead and click on this hardwood flooring, Quercus rubia. I believe that is the Latin name. Again, not what we're looking for. So let's go in. I can show you how to update these things. If you select the floor, slide over to the edit type, slide to structure, edit, and then this is where we're working. So we're going to go in here to the plywood sheeting, opening up that particular material editor, hitting identity, and this descriptor is where it's pulling the information from for that name. So I'm going to go right ahead and duplicate. That way I'm not changing anything. And then this plywood sheeting is really going to become 3/4 inch, and we'll call this subfloor. So there's my 3/4 inch subfloor. I can just highlight that name that'll be in the material library and paste it here so that we have a 3/4 inch subfloor. Now, as we get into detail views, we'll probably call out 3/4 inch subfloor, Advantex, and get into some more detailed things. But for now, it's really the process we're looking for. Okay, so we have subfloor, and then in this particular instance, we're going to go ahead and do a very similar thing. We'll duplicate, identity, and where we have oak flooring, we're going to get rid of that number 1, and we're going to come down here. Whoops, got to do this first, I guess. We're going to come down here, we'll copy this, we'll paste this in here, and we're going to say that this is 3/4 inch oak flooring, and we'll get rid of that, and we'll call this 3/4 inch oak flooring. It doesn't like having the same name in the material library twice. So we do this, should be able to hit OK, hit apply, hit OK, and voila, you can see those names changed for me. So now we'll go ahead and we'll just tag out this wall here a little bit. And when you do this, you want to be able to pull your first leader up at a nice angle. You click, you come out, and you click again. That's setting up a nice elbow there. So here's my OSB again. Let's keep that same angle as close as we can, and we'll come up and we set up that same angle, click, and then pull out and drop it in position. Keeping all of your labels nice and neat and orderly and clean is something that you want to get used to doing right away from the beginning. Okay, really, I don't like here you can see this oak flooring isn't really giving me a nice elbow, so we're going to go back in. It's pretty simple and easy to do. So we're going to pull up, we're going to click, and then we're going to pull over to get that elbow. All right, so hopefully get used to putting in the levels, setting up your material tags and the like, because we're going to be doing this awful lot for all the detail views we do. So keep practicing, make sure you understand the process. All right, good luck.